Hey guys, week 6 vocabulary here. We're going to do words 26 through 30. Before I get started though, I wanted to encourage you guys to take notes as you're watching this video. The examples I give will help you to remember them perhaps, or perhaps not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just trying to help you. The first word, dynamic, and it's talking about a character. A dynamic character is one who grows, learns, or changes as the result of a story's action. Here I have some dynamic character examples for you. We have the Grinch, and we all know that his heart grew 3 times larger that day. There's Shrek, who learns how to let people into his life. And then we have a very dynamic change here of a butterfly at the end, but it's a caterpillar at the end. And if you see the dynamite here, because dynamite is the change, and if you want to know the origin of this word, it's Greek and it means power. So we all have the power to change. So another thing for dynamic, in Mr. Peterson's room, he has this picture of evolution, shows growth. Our next word is elegy. An elegy is a poem of serious reflection, typically a lament for the dead. Now what lament means, it can be a noun and a verb. If you're lamenting, you are mourning for someone who's dead, but in this case it's a noun, and it's a passionate expression of grief or sorrow. So here I have an example of someone, and she's thinking about whoever's dead, and she says, I feel like writing a poem of serious reflection for my loss. She's writing an elegy or a lament. And this one here, I write because of my loss. My lament is for my dead child. So she's crying because her child died. Our next word is epic, and epic is a thing, it's a noun. It's a long narrative poem. It is written in heightened language, which means it's got lots of details, lots of poetic devices. It recounts the deeds of a heroic character who embodies the values of a particular society. What does that mean? What is an epic? It's a long story in poem form. An epic has a hero. The epic is the story of a hero's travels and his fights with monsters, for the most part. An example of the Odyssey is the Odyssey by Homer, which a poem can actually turn into a book. So here is probably a epic hero on a journey. There's a monster here, and he has to fight against evil. And also, epic, Mr. Peterson again has it, long poem. So if you just remember a long narrative poem, you'll remember what epic is. Our next word is epithet, which is a descriptive term for a person or a thing. Here are some examples of a person. Richard the Lionheart is an epithet for Richard I, the king. He's a character in our Youngest Templar, and here's a picture of his shield. This is his lions. The next one is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If we call him The Rock, you know exactly who we're talking about. And then Ivan the Terrible. It is a descriptive term for this previous Russian ruler. We also have things: a scornful eye, a careless match, a wide-eyed amazement. Mr. Peterson also has these on his board. Just a descriptive phrase. Our last word is euphemism. It's pronounced euphemism. Anyway, euphemism is an indirect, less offensive way of saying something that is considered unpleasant. Here are some examples. You would say someone passed away instead of they're dead. You might say someone is big boned instead of saying they're fat. You might call a car a pre-owned vehicle rather than a used car. Correctional facility is also the name of a prison or jail. Here's an example of one. Guy talking to his boss. This is the direct approach. You're fired. Not so kind, not so nice, not so indirect. Sorry, we're going to have to let you go. This is a euphemism.